Guys, so today I have my brow routine for you. This has been requested quite a few times now on like my Instagram and a couple of times on my YouTube. So I just wanted to get this video filmed for you, and I'm just going to go through some of the products that I use on my eyebrows. So if you'd like to see how I do my eyebrows and what products I use, please carry on watching. So the most important thing I think to have when sort of filling your eyebrows in is to have a spoolie brush, and I have this one here which is off eBay, and these are actually disposable, so you can just chuck this away after you've done with it, and you can get a pack of these on eBay for like £2 for like a pack of like 200 or something. Another one I like to use is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, as I like to use the spoolie on this as it's really nice and sturdy, but most days I will just use this one, as I find sometimes this one really helps to flick the product through your brows quicker, whereas this one it sort of drags the product more, but it's just your personal preference really. Now the brush I actually use to fill my eyebrows in is the MAC 266 angled brush, and this is the most perfect brow brush I've ever used. I always used to use them ones that you get in the sort of starter makeup brush sets, and they were just far too thick for my eyebrows, and they made me look like I had these massive slugs for eyebrows, whereas this brush is absolutely perfect. It's so sort of thin and precise, so you can really get a nice sort of sharp line if you like that on the end of your brow. So this is quite an investment for just one brush, but I highly recommend it. It's the best one I've ever used. Now moving on to the brow product I use the MAC Cosmetics Dipdown Fluidline, and this is actually an eyeliner, but it's a brown eyeliner, so you actually get such a good lasting power with this, and in a way I would say this is waterproof if you set it with a brow gel. I love this, and this was actually £15, so I think that this is quite reasonable for how much product you get. I've had this over a year now, and look how much product I've got left. Highly recommend. Now I really love to set the fluid line in place with a brow powder, and this is a Whitening Lightning brow bar to go, and this has a wax which I don't use anymore, that's why it's like all gross. And then it has two brow powders. This is the darker brow kit. They do a light one as well, I believe. Obviously as I've got dark hair I have the dark one, and this is more sort of a reddy tone brow powder and more on the warmer tone, whereas this one is a more of a lighter brown, and this is more of a cool tone shadow for the brow. So I like to mix them both together really to give me the sort of perfect shade. I'd recommend if you have sort of got coloured hair like me, then to mix shades rather than to just use one certain shadow or brow powder. Now I really love to set my brows in place after I've filled them in and everything, because otherwise I think they're just going to rub off or whatever. So yeah, I love to set my brows in place using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, and this is absolutely amazing. And this is what the spoolie looks like, and that is also waterproof. I wore that in America when I went like in the pool, and literally my eyebrows stayed in place. It's absolutely amazing. Then the last thing is concealer, and I love to sort of sculpt my brows after I've filled them in, as I really think it helps to lift the brow and to help the brow look a lot more sort of precise and clean, and I just love this step. It's probably my favourite step of like filling my brows in, as I just think it makes them look so much more defined and lifted. So I use the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer, and this is in the shade Fair 1, and I just like to apply that with a little concealer brush. Now the concealer brushes I love to use, one being the e.l.f. Professional Concealer brush, and this is just really nice, and it's got like a square finish to it. The next being the Real Techniques Detailer brush, and this has a really nice sort of point to it. And the last one being from Maybelline. So the Maybelline one just has a really nice point to the end of it, and I believe this came with a gel eyeliner, or you could just get one off eBay. The last thing you will need when grooming or filling your eyebrows is a little pair of scissors, and these are just a little pair of nail scissors, and yeah, they do the job. And then the last thing, which is really important, is a pair of tweezers, and I think these were just ones from America that cost me like $1, so they do them in Superdrug and Tesco really cheap. So I'm just going to show you how I fill in my brows now, so carry on watching. So as you can tell, I just have my foundation on at the moment, as I'm going to show you my eyebrow routine. So I'm just going to start off by telling you a little bit about my eyebrows. So I naturally have quite dark eyebrows. My natural hair colour is mousy sort of brown, and it's dyed purpley red, as you can tell. When I was younger, I was about 10, and I decided to shave my eyebrows, like the end bit of it here. I decided to shave that off, as I thought that looked really cool, and I was sick of having really like bushy, thick eyebrows. So it's taken some time to grow them back, as I kept deciding that when they were starting to grow back that I didn't really like them that thick. And it's only been like the past year that I've discovered that my thick eyebrows really did suit my face better than my thin eyebrows. So yeah, they were never actually this thin to start with. This is just what I've done to them the past few years. I've heard that Vaseline helps to sort of grow your eyebrows, and I have used that a couple of times, and I don't know if that's what's helped them sort of get to this stage, but one eyebrow is a lot more arched than the other one, and one is a lot more sort of rounded than sort of like pointier than the other one, if that makes sense. So yeah, let's get started. So I just start off by brushing through my eyebrows with the Spooly brush, and I just take my tweezers and pluck away any stray hairs that I can see. And I mainly just pluck underneath my eyebrow. I don't tend to pluck on top. And then again, I just give them another brush through. As you can see here, this hair here is really long, so I'm just going to take my little scissors and just snip it. So I just brush the hair up and snip away. Then after I've sort of trimmed my brows, I then just comb through again. Then we get on to my favourite part, which is filling them in. So I'm using the MAC Dipdown Fluidline with my MAC 266 angled brush. So I first dip my brush into the product, and I like to get quite a lot on my brush, as my Dipdown Fluidline is quite sort of dried up now. So I take quite a lot on my brush, and then I just wipe off the excess on the pot, and then I just start apply the product sort of to the middle of my brow, and then I pull it down and make a little line. I then like to take it to the front of my brow, just underneath, and I just apply that really lightly just so it doesn't look too harsh. Then I just flick my brush up and flick the product through. I then just take more of that fluid line and apply it to this sort of top of my arch to sort of build up the arch, if that makes sense. And as you can see, that's sort of helping us build the shape of the brow now. I then just make the tail of the brow a little bit thicker, as I don't want the tail to be too thin. I then just brush through that product with the Spooly brush, just so it's all nicely blended in. I'm then taking my Whitening Lightning brow bar to go, and I'm mixing the two powders here, so the darker one and the lighter one, just to get the perfect shade for my brows. Again, I'm just doing the same steps, so applying it to the middle of the brow, bringing it down to the tail, and then just applying the lighter shade here onto my arch, as I don't like the arch to be too dark. I then take the lighter shade and apply that to the front of my brow, so just the same step we done before. So lightly underneath, and then pushing the product up with a flick of the brush. I then just take my spoolie again and brush the product through. I'm now just going to do the other brow, and I'll be right back. I then just sculpt my eyebrows with some concealer, and the concealer I use is the Lasting Perfection by Collection, and I use the shade Fair One, just as this is quite light and sort of gives a sort of uplift to the brow. And I just dot this underneath, and I just take this little brush, and this is by Maybelline, it just came with the gel liner, so I'm just going to blend that in. So I just take it right up underneath my eyebrow, and this just helps give them a sort of cleaner look and sharpen them up a bit, as I like mine to look really defined, as I think when you're wearing sort of bold makeup, it looks really nice if the eyebrows are done really nice and defined. And then I just blend that in with my finger, as the warmth of your finger really helps blend the concealer in. I then just take the tiniest part on the sort of outer bit of my eyebrow, just to sharpen that up even more. And then I just blend that in with my finger. And that's my eyebrow complete. So to finish my brow routine, all I do is I just set my brows in place, and I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, and this stuff is literally like glue. It keeps your eyebrows in place all day long. And the weird thing is, it smells of like vodka, and I don't know if anyone else has that sort of issue with theirs. If you have it, then please let me know in the comments of what you think it smells like. But yeah, it just smells really funny. And as you can see, when I apply sort of my sort of full face of makeup, I like to highlight my brow bone. So that's all I've done today. I've just applied a little bit of highlighter up there just to lift the brow even more. So that's basically all I do to my eyebrows. So I'm just going to set them in place. So that's my brow routine, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope it helps some of you out that maybe are just starting out by filling your eyebrows in, or if you have sort of plucked or sort of razored them off like me when I was younger and you're looking to sort of fill them in. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any video requests, then please leave them in the comments down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. So take care, bye!